in the link that I made. Let's see. This is a little behind the scenes of me. I like to tell people that I have pasted my business together with bubblegum, duct taped, and a lot of intuition and guidance. And that's basically how everything goes around here. Okay, so I'm live. Hello, YouTube. Hi. But I don't know if I'm in the one that I made. Well, this is just what we're going to go with, and it's going to be amazing. So welcome, welcome, welcome to everyone that's here with me right now. Oh, okay. Thank you, Ren. I appreciate you letting me know that. Okay, that's awesome. So I'm on YouTube. I'm here. Let's all just take a moment to ground into this moment together and just make this a really special space for us to connect in. So let's just take a deep breath and close our eyes. And release, just sinking into the moment, letting your body wiggle around a little bit. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. That's right. Another deep breath in, filling your lungs with air. And release, letting any worries, doubts, thoughts of lack just float away as you envision a bright red laser beam going from your tailbone and driving deep, deep, deep into the crystal core of the earth. Yes. And another bright white light streaming up out of your head, up, 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 deep into universal mind, rooting you into your guidance, your truth, your connection to source, to all that is. And then see those two beams of light traveling right back into you and uniting in your heart. And here you are, heaven on earth, connected, grounded. That's right. All right, all. Thank you, everyone who has joined in. I am so excited to be here with you guys. I woke up today and I got this great guidance that I was going to send out an email and do a live stream at 3 o'clock today. And it looks like, gosh, okay, so there are a few people that found me on YouTube. Let me know if in the chat, if you're in YouTube watching, if this is the link that I sent out, or is this does it just say live? If anybody knows, that would be great, because I don't know. Okay, so anyway, we are here to talk about surrendering and what that means, because most of my life, I thought of the word surrender as, hi, Sarah, thank you. Okay, did you see, okay, well, it doesn't matter. We're just going to go with what it is. So I thought of surrendering most of my life as sort of a form of weakness, right? It doesn't sound like a strong word. It sounds sort of like, I don't know. Well, I guess it sounds like weakness. It reminded me of sort of being in my little turtle shell while I was back in school, being bullied and hiding from everyone. It says live. Thank you, Murray J. I appreciate that. So it's only recently that I have really stepped into fully understanding that when we surrender and when we embody that surrender, it's not weakness, it's us fully stepping into our power. Because when we surrender as an individual, as an ego, or as a persona, when I surrender as Erin, or when you surrender as you, what you're doing is you're making that space, you're expanding to allow your guidance to flow into you and to start taking action in your life from that place of guidance. and not from that place of you being an individual and you trying to figure it out on your own, right? Which is what we are raised to do, which is what we go through our lives doing until we find out that there's more and start trying to connect in with that, right? So I think for me, I really wanted to share this with you. And some of you will have heard this from me before, but it can be so powerful to look at the universe as if it's a giant chessboard. Whether you can envision that in your mind or not, it really doesn't matter. Just hearing those words, this is a giant chessboard, and you've been playing a game your entire life. And you are trying to get yourself to the other side of the chessboard where there's abundance, where you can easily manifest, where you can embody your truth. But you, as an individual, if you're a chess piece and this is your chess piece, you only see part of your own chess piece, right? You still have tons of questions about yourself and your life and how it all fits together. And so this chess piece, you are trying to drag across the board and you can't even see the whole thing. And then if you think about the people in your life that are immediately surrounding you, right? Your close family, your close friends, they are also part of what is dragging you across the chessboard, because they're giving you advice, they're giving you guidance, sometimes unsolicited, and that is affecting you. It's making you wonder, oh, should I do this because this person told me I shouldn't, or maybe this person told me I should, but I don't know if that feels right for me. And so they're all helping to drag you across the chessboard. It's really this place of being, which I spent most of my life in, right? Most of us have this place of wanting to figure out how on our own, right? Of feeling like we need to know how. We know we want to get to abundance, whether that's financial, health, or love, or whatever it is, and a life that feels amazing, that lights us up. We know that's where we want to be, but we are trying to control it. And I know this because so many people I work with say, well, Erin, I can see the end goal. I can envision it in my mind, right? I know I want to be financially abundant. I can feel it. I know it. I can visualize it, but I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't see that it can happen. I just don't know how it's going to happen. So I'm not going to do anything. And I'm just going to keep looking at that in my mind. I'm going to keep visualizing it. But when you say, I want to know how before I take action on my guidance, you're shutting your guidance down. You're saying, no, I'm not going to receive it, right? It's literally you saying, no, stop. Unless you can show me how in advance, show me all the steps I'm going to have to follow, and I can make that decision from this place of being right now, then I don't want to hear it. And so that's sort of what we're trained to do. We're trained to tightly control the reins, to understand what's going to happen. But if we can learn to release that control and surrender to our guidance, because our guidance, it sees the entire chessboard. It doesn't just see your whole chess piece. It sees the whole chess piece of your family and close friends. It sees all the chess pieces of the people that live on the other side of the world that you've never heard of. And it sees all the chess pieces going out into the universe, on and on forever. Everything that is, all that is seen by your inner guidance system. And so if we can just come at this whole game of life from that perspective, understanding that our inner guidance knows things that we could never even guess, and that if we are able to release the how and surrender to beginning to trust that inner guidance to lead us, then it can lead us in that magical place that you've heard about, and maybe some of you have been in and some of you haven't yet, of flow, right? Where everything's just flowing and it feels amazing. And all of a sudden, the universe is moving you, your guidance is moving you effortlessly across the chessboard, and it starts to feel fun and you start enjoying it, right? But that all happens It's a process. And it's okay that it doesn't happen in one big flash, boom, bang. Oh, now I'm fixed. Now I'm better. It's okay that it's a process. And I've seen in my own life how it really, really is a process. You know, when I first published my book, even though I was following my guidance, I thought, well, it took me 8 years to follow that guidance and publish One Truth, One Law. So now that I've done it, everything should just be perfect. It should be roses and I should be in the flow every day. And I found out, no, that was just the first step of guidance I had taken. And it took me many, many months to start understanding that I really had to embody that guidance all the time. And it started out with more small steps. And the first step's probably going to be big. It's probably going to be terrifying to you, like it was for me putting my truth out into the world. That was terrifying. But it was also amazing to see how it didn't blow up in my face. Because when you're following guidance, especially in the beginning when you don't have that knowing built up yet because you haven't really done it, maybe you're hearing your guidance. Or maybe you're hearing something and you're wondering, is this really guidance or am I crazy? Or is this really guidance because I don't see how that makes sense? Well, a big clue is, especially in the beginning, you're going to think this doesn't make sense at all because it is so different than your programming. And you know, there's a few of you in here that are on Unlimited You with me, and few of you I know are in that magic spot where everything is just really starting to flow and you see the signs and synchronicities everywhere. And that is part of surrender. You have taken actions that sort of terrified you. I'm seeing some hearts, sort of terrified you, right? And then you saw how it didn't blow up in your face, and beyond not blowing up in your face, it actually exploded and expanded you forward, because that's when you start expanding, when you start following your guidance and stepping into your truth, stepping into your power, because it's one thing, and then the expansion starts, and the universe, God, source, I am, whatever you want to call it, starts bringing you more. It starts bringing you, it says, I can see you're starting to do it. You're starting to walk your path. Here's more. Here's more. Here's more. And it just really just starts flowing and becoming beautiful. I want you guys to know this is a real thing, because it is. And for a long time, I doubted it because I read all the books and I tried everything. And even when I started receiving my guidance, I don't know, 9 or 10 years ago now, I'm not sure how long ago it was anymore, but I still, okay, so what if I ask I am a question and I hear an answer? Is it what I want the answer to be, or is it I am? Okay, well, that's a great question. So definitely you need to, when you ask a question and you receive an answer, what I would do, especially in the beginning, because before you understand what that voice sounds like, it can be very, very confusing. So, and I mean, it sounds the same as all the other voice in your head, just to clarify that there's not a different tone to it or anything. But so I recommend when you get the answer, you journal it out. You don't have to be journaling while you get it, but after you receive it, you write it down. Okay. And then look at it. Now you can put away your, okay, am I talking to I am? Am I not talking to I am hat? And just say, is this answer coming from a place of knowing that I'm limitless? Or is it coming from a place of believing that there are limits on me? And you'll have your answer right there. Because the answers from I am will always, always, always come from a place of knowing and understanding that you are limitless and anything is possible. Now, this will butt up completely against your programming, right? Your programming is always going to tell you, let's contract back in. Let's not take that step forward. Let's come back where it's safe. Let's back up. And I am, source, universe is always trying to expand you into your next step. And it might seem terrifying. It probably will seem terrifying. It's probably not going to be what you actually want to do, but it will expand you and bring you closer to your truth. So this can be a little bit confusing at times because marketers spend a lot of money to market products and services to us. And so sometimes we will dive into something that was marketed, you're welcome, love, that was marketed really, really heavily to you. And you'll get confused because you'll think, oh, this sounds so exciting. I really, really, really want to do this. And that's why I say trusting your gut instinct, that which is like such a popular thing, is not always the right thing, because sometimes it's tied to programming. Sometimes our gut instinct is tied to past trauma that our physical body has endured, and our body wants to keep us safe, just like our persona does. And so you really have to look at, is this coming from a place of understanding that I'm limitless, or am I wanting to do this? And I'll give you an example. I signed up for a business course last year that I was really excited about, right? I was so excited. I was all lit up about it. And that's what most people will tell you, is follow what lights you up. Well, for me, if I were to follow what lit me up all the time, I'd be grabbing all the shiny objects all day long, and I'd be committing myself to 500 different things, which I've done in the past. And then I end up very quickly in a place where I'm not actually lit up. And I think most of us are that way. We are inherently very creative. And if we're told to just follow what lights us up before we're sort of more advanced in our spirituality and really cleared a lot of trauma out of our body, then we're going to get in a place where we have a lot of lessons to learn. These things that light us up are just teaching us lessons to try to get us back onto our path. So anyway, I signed up for this business course because it lit up my body. My gut liked it. And I had to, yeah, Ren, yes. I'm excited to talk to you about that, Ren, because I wanted to say something to you while we were here. I was thinking about you earlier today. So anyway, I had to learn by signing up for this business course that really lit me up from my gut, that I was signing up for it for the wrong reasons. I was signing up for it because I believed I wasn't enough. Now, that doesn't mean I shouldn't take a business course, but this one specifically, if I had journaled out my response from I am and my response from me, I would find that I was actually jumping into it because I believed I wasn't good enough on my own, that the way I was sharing with people wasn't good enough, and I needed somebody else to tell me how to be a better version of me. So even though signing up for a business course may have looked on the surface like expansion, right? Because I'm expanding into something new, it actually was coming from a place of really heavy fear and doubts about my own worth. But at the same time, I recently signed up for a different business course that was really coming from a place of, so instead, when I signed up for this one recently, it was coming, my gut was like, oh, terrifying, don't do this. This is too expansive. And I am was saying, if you want to expand, this is the next step. So in this case, my body was saying no, but my heart and I am were saying yes. So it really, you can't look at everything as a blanket thing, right? And that's another thing about learning from past mistakes. It doesn't really work that way, because if you're following your guidance in the moment, just because something didn't work in the past before, like that business course, my persona is telling me this time, don't you dare do it, because that one was a failure. That didn't work. So if you do it this time, you're just going to waste your money. And so I had to come from a massive place of trusting I am and wanting to step into more expansion. So you can't look at it, you necessarily learn from your past with a lot of things. Okay, so all right, so Ren, I'm still terrified at times about trusting that I'm creating my own amazing reality. I'm so used to the shit show. Okay, so that's, oh, pardon my my French. Okay, so that is a beautiful, beautiful question. So, Ren, I am feeling very, very clearly after our talk on Saturday. Ren is inside Unlimited You, so we have the weekly coaching calls that we're doing now, group coaching, and it's such a powerful space. But it is time, and you know this too, for you to start putting yourself out there, because that is the really big next expansive step for you. And I know you mentioned YouTube channel or some other sort of channel. And I know you sent me that beautiful email about committing to stepping into creating something in the physical world, because of course you're right. If you're creating something only in your head, but not willing to take the action to bring it into the physical world, you're just blocking it. And I know that for me, before I started becoming sort of a public person and putting my truth out there, I felt like I wasn't enough yet, right? I felt like there were things I had to learn before I could do that, before it was right, that I had to just hold back until I knew more, right? But what I've found over the last year and a half of starting to slowly put my truth out into the world is that you're going to learn as you go. And there is no better teacher than going out there and doing and getting experience. And so I know that your guidance has been to do that. And there's nothing that a course or a person can teach you in a better way than you can do by going out there and trying. And that doesn't mean it's all going to flow perfectly, but you will learn who you are through that process, and you will learn what your message is. If you want to have your message, okay, so if you want to have your message completely perfect, if you want to have everything completely perfect, if you think you need the perfect website, if you think you need the perfect anything, it's not true. Those are all limiting thoughts coming from your programming, telling you you're not enough as you are right now. The perfect day to start is today, right now. This is the time. And this goes for everyone on the call, not just Ren. Okay, this is your time. This is your moment. Jump in, get started. And if you come from a place of service, right, a place of wanting to enrich others as you also enrich your own life and expand into your own growth, the right people are going to be brought to you. Okay, it's absolutely true. And they're not going to care if you have the most beautiful everything figured out yet. Okay. Beautiful, Run. So I can't wait to hear about your expansion into that. Okay, so we have a question, what do I think about A Course in Miracles? I think it's like so many things. It is a beautiful place that brings people into the spiritual awakening movement. But I think that like so many things within the spiritual awakening movement, people can get trapped there. People can get stuck there, learning from others for their entire life. And I have a lot of people that I work with that have been involved in the Course in Miracles for 20, 30, 40 years. And they're still, some of them have expanded beautifully, right? But there are some that are still wanting more expansion, and they're not finding it in the Course in Miracles, but they think then they're just missing something, right? And so they continually keep going back into the Course in Miracles, trying to figure out what they're missing. Well, this is what, just like with my book, just like with anything. And when somebody comes to me for guidance, my goal is, how can I get you listening to yourself so you don't need to listen to me anymore? That's always my goal. I don't want to keep a student for the next 30 years. I want to be your guide, be your aid as you step into understanding, hearing your guidance, and then taking action on it so that you get into the flow and you don't need anybody anymore. That should be everybody's goal. And I think the Course in Miracles, you have to be careful because I Am has explained to me since I started talking to I Am back in 2011. I Am told me there was a book I was reading. It wasn't a Course in Miracles. I have not read that, but I Am. It was a book that sold many, many millions of copies, and people still talk about today. Not the Bible though. I haven't read that one either. But oh, thank you. But so this was a different book though, by a spiritual guru, we'll say, and I Am told me to throw it out the window because it's a trap. And so you have to understand there's a lot of people out there that want to control the reality and the creations of the great mass of humanity, the human collective. And an especially juicy group of people to control is the people that are, I haven't read Untethered Soul, that are the people that are interested in spiritual awakening, or that are interested in manifesting, right? That are interested in bringing more into their lives, okay? That are interested in the spiritual world, because of course that is the actual real world. That's where everything's happening behind the scenes. And so if the people that understand that can control the collective, they control the outcome of everything. And so there are a lot of traps out there in the spiritual world to try to get us, like there's enough truth there. Just like the Bible has enough truth to get people excited because they can feel that bit of the truth there. And then there's just enough in some of these books to just sidetrack you, where you get lost forever and you never end up going into your own inner guidance system and embodying source, because that's what we're here to do. We are here to become our truth and go out there and expand that and spread that throughout the world. So I hope that's helpful. Okay, so we've got on YouTube here a question from Kim. How do you let I Am speak and come through instead of having your persona make up random answers and claim it as I am talking? Okay. So this is, and Kim, we had this a little bit earlier, but I'm gonna say it again then. First of all, thank you, Ren. So when you ask a question, I want you to, whether you do it while you're asking the question or whether you do it afterwards, I want you to get out a journal or just a piece of paper and write down the answer you got. Okay. And then after you write it down, after you get it all out on paper, I want you to read it. Just take a breath and then read it and say, okay, is this coming from a place of me understanding that I am limitless? Or is this coming from a place of me believing I'm not good enough as I am, or that I'm a limited being? Because I Am's answers are always going to come from a place of knowing and understanding that you are limitless and anything is possible for you. There will never be any limits. I Am will tell you can learn to fly. I Am will never put a single limit on you. And your persona will limit you all day long. So all you have to do is write out the answer and look at it from that vantage point. Which one is it? So yes, okay. So sometimes we get confused. Yes, there is so much information out there, and a lot of it. See, I am so connected and with I Am, so I am able to ask, hey, this doesn't sound right. Is this right? And I Am will either tell me yes or no. And I will tell you there are a lot of no's coming about information coming from really big spiritual gurus that are out there right now. And there's some great ones. So I don't want to make this a blanket term, like I'm not the only one that knows what's going on here. I don't want to say that at all. There are some amazing spiritual teachers out there right now, but there are also some people that are very lost themselves and putting themselves out as and that's part of their path. It's part of their journey. It doesn't mean they're being bad, right? It means they're trying, but you really have to use that guidance system and get comfortable with it to start discerning when you've found a teacher that is coming from a place of understanding you're limitless, or are they coming from a place of understanding you aren't? And I also really want you to tune into, is this person telling you, oh, let me grab my son real quick. Oh, come here, baby. Okay. Oh, my baby. Here, mommy's going to wrap it up, okay? Mom, this is real life. Okay. So is this person, what was I going to say? So, okay, so we got the spiritual teacher. Oh, okay, we're going to give them. Okay. Well, how can we prop this up so this isn't too much information for everybody? Here, let's see. No, that doesn't work. Okay. Well, gosh, this is really a juicy bit too. Okay. So maybe we're going to have to save it for the next time. So is this spiritual? And I can't even remember. Okay. So we're going to have to trust that this is what it is. I thank you guys so much for spending a half hour with me. I send you love. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Have a beautiful rest of your week. And have a beautiful, beautiful life. I love you guys. Okay, so we're going to sign out here and video. Maybe. And okay, and we're going to say end stream. Thank you guys. Bye-bye. Okay.